contract in November, and December I went up to resign at the 1st of January. I took over, and I kind of kept me on hold for 15 days after something that kept me shut down. They were good people.
So you from Fayetteville originally? Yeah. Born and raised here? Well, I've seen a lot of changes there.
All over the world.
Richard, you're not on camera now. No. You recognize this place. I'm wanting to sit
So you're not for sale, right?
Oh, they're going to do it for free.
That plan feels good anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have that heat. Yesterday was one.
Yeah.
Joey, it rained last night.
Drove through a sprinkle on the way up.
That's about it. So we had a 30-minute storm in California. That's not a good wind.
California's a new, brand new one.
Brand new valve.
The valve broke. The thing about it was it burned. It killed all grass. All that racing club.
Makes you wonder
Yeah, you
how
can
much
just see exactly where it
sip
went.
it every now and then.
Just killed it better.
Looks like yeah. The companies that I deal with on that are, they're going into bankruptcy.
Just not selling marbles.
They claim it's gas, the price of gas.
The shipment and everything.
I know one of the companies I bought from 7 years ago, their gas bill for making marbles was $8,000 a month, and today it's $32,000, and the price of marbles hasn't gone up. But I deal with one good company that own their own wells, and they're not having any trouble. Oh, y'all take all this stuff, and when will you run it?
This will be on 10 tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah.
You run it that quick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And at 48, that's 11 on market.
11 on cable.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the boys are all here.
Are they?
You know, the last time you did this, my oldest son wrote them and asked them for copies.
And send them a copy.
And sent them 2 copies, and you know, I missed it because I went home and was tired and went to sleep, and he got a copy, and then a year later I saw it in Texas.
Had to drive all the way down there just to see Huntsville TV. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Davis, let's just go back to the beginning and work our way forward.
Okay.
What made you set up shop here? What made you go in business here?
Well, I always wanted to go into retail business, and since I was in the wholesale hardware business, I wanted to go. I was a traveling sale. I wanted to go into the retail, and I was looking for a location, and this happened to be my home, and I was here on a visit, and had the opportunity to get this location, and everything worked out, and I took it. That's it.
Well, now, just a second. The wind chime's going to be okay sound-wise?
Yeah, you can hardly hear them.
Not marbles? We're not picking up marbles or anything?
Oh.
Oh, we're picking up marbles.
Okay, better not do that a little because the microphone's
Okay.
picking up this clicking.
You didn't want to do that.
Well, now, was there a hardware store here already, or is this something else?
Not really. It was a furniture store. But it had moved out. They went up on their rent, and the old man didn't like it until he built his own building, moved out into it, and went into the.
How old is this building? You know, how old?
Oh, I'd say 150 years old.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's real old. One of those buildings, and
Goes back to the war between the states, huh?
oh, I'd say so. Yeah. Way back many years ago, at one time, this was city office.
Really?
City office, and I can just know a few things about it. And then after that, it was saloon, Red Top Saloon, for many years. And there was a killing or two in here.
Really?
Oh yeah, one of the sheriffs killed a man. Sheriff Williams. I don't know what his first name was. And then after that, it was a funeral home and furniture store.
Yeah.
And then the funeral home.
There used to be a lot of that. Used
Yeah.
to be because they made coffins and and furniture too.
Yeah, and then the furniture, the funeral home moved out. Higgins Funeral Home moved down here on the East Market, and Mr. Towery then operated a furniture store until he left, and I came in there. So I've been here 41 years. I don't know how long Towery was in here.
So, were you in the war, in World War II?
World War II, yeah.
What'd you do?
I was a airplane mechanic in the Air Force.
Where?
Australia and New Guinea and
Down the Pacific?
yeah, South Pacific.
So the war was over. You came home to Fayetteville.
No,
No, you didn't?
I came home to, I was traveling in Mississippi when the service got me. And
Now, what were you doing? What were you doing?
I was traveling salesman for Belknap Hardware at Louisville, Kentucky. And when I came back, I went back into the same territory and traveled for, well, I made for a little over a year I traveled. And then I located this store.
Yeah, I was going to say, what brought you back to Fayetteville?
I wanted to go in business for myself, and it was the opportunity that I found. Found a place to go, and I had unlimited backing from the company I was working for.
They were willing to set you up.
Oh, they set me up. Set me up. They were gracious with me. I doubt if you could get that kind of setup today.
Yeah.
I came in here and started buying merchandise and bought merchandise for about 7 months. Never paid them a cent. And business was so lucrative that at the end of 7 months, I sent them a check for the whole thing. And the only thing I lost was my discount, 2%. And it took me about 2 more months of business where I netted my bills. And after the 10th month of business, I was discounted, and I've never failed to discount a bill since.
Now, in 1946, what was going on in Fayetteville? Was there a lot of building? What was the
No, it was just the inflation was beginning to set in a year after the war, and what made me, I would say, was I've done business all my business life on a rising market, and it's easier to make money on a rising market than it is on a falling market.
Sure.
So I have been blessed with that. Of course, I think the country has been blessed, but personally, I've gained by it.
Now, were you married when you came back to Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Was there a
yeah.
Mrs. Davis?
I was married and had 1 child.
Really?
Yeah.
And then how many more kids do you have?
I have 1 born after I was here. About a year, I guess. Maybe 2 years, I've forgotten.
The missus from Fayetteville?
No, she's a Mississippi girl.
Well, we picked her up down there when you were working down there.
Her father was in the hardware business. He was one of my accounts.
Oh, really?
And that's the way I got her.
Okay, so you came up and set up the store here. What did you have? What was selling big back in the early days?
Well, this is agricultural country, and it was just agricultural, farming needs and tools and what. It was just pure hardware. I was taught hardware by a big company, and I sold shelf hardware. Everything that I sold, you could carry out of here in your hands or your arms. I sold no appliances, no implements. It was shelf hardware. That's the profit line of hardware. Of course, that's not necessarily so today, but the hardware business has changed. And when it got where it wasn't profitable about 11 years ago, I quit.
Yeah, I was about to say, so times got hard for farmers. Well, sometimes farmers have always had a tough time paying their bills. Was there ever a time when someone would come in and say, Mr. Davis, I just can't pay you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What'd you do?
Lost it. But I was pretty frugal in my credits, and I had good accounts. What I lost today would probably buy me the finest Cadillac, but it's gone. I can't drive it. You can't do it anymore. And then later on, I cut my credits. Like now, I do no credit business. Everything I do is cash. I don't want any credit business at all. But my losses over a period of a year was negligible percentage-wise. Very fortunate.
Now let's say I was to walk in the door off the street in 1948.
48.
I'd walk in here, or just thereabouts. What would I see? What would the store look like?
It was chock full to the walls, to the ceiling with hardware. Hardware. Household goods and farm equipment like harness, bridles, and plow parts and plow handles and hammers and nails and fence, and barbed wire, guns and ammunition. Just the plain old hardware store, shelf hardware store of that day.
Well, now in 41 years, you've had to have seen some pretty interesting characters come through here.
Namely myself.
Well, you're still here though, but who are some of the more colorful people, townspeople, and folks hereabouts around Lincoln County? Who?
Oh, I don't know.
You got a lot of regular customers?
Oh, my business over a period of years was built on regular customers. In a county as small as Lincoln County, you had to have repeat customers. You wouldn't exist. And I've been very fortunate that my customers have stuck to me even now, if they can, in my line of merchandise. But I laugh, and my competition here fought me. There were 4 other hardware stores here, and I put the 5th one in. And they fought me. They fought me real hard. But I laughed at them because every customer I got came from them.
Really?
They furnished me with all of my customers because when I came here, I had none.
Well, what kept them coming back?
Well, I tried to be honest with them and shoot with them straight and square. And I had a good teacher with Belknap hardware people. They had experiences of 120 years at that time, and they taught me that the best advertisement in the world is your customer. And there's lots of ways you can advertise, get your customer to advertise them, but cheating them is not one of them. They will advertise you, but they'll be adversely.
Well, now, anything unusual ever happened here one day, or?
Oh, I don't know. I've had all kinds. Oh, I've had all kinds. I've been robbed 4 times.
Robbed 4 times?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
But not at a gunpoint. They just...
now, hold up those marbles here. We're picking that sound up on the microphone.
Steal and run. I've had that happen 4 times.
Very much?
Not very much. No. $200 to $300, I guess, is the greatest loss I had.
Enough,
of that.
though. That's a good chunk.
Oh, yeah, that was a pretty good chunk then. And then I've had a few professional crooks, and the most I lost there was about $450. But he was slick. He was pretty slick. Of course, I trust everybody, and I don't think that was could be counted against me. He's the one that's got the answer for it. It didn't hurt me, but he's going to answer for it in the hereafter, one way or another. I don't have to answer that.
Well, now the store's changed an awful lot.
Oh,
and the whole line of goods you have for sale is different now.
Yeah.
What made you change?
Existence. But my hardware paid off until, as long as I ran it, which was until I was 66 years old. And when I decided to retire at 65, I couldn't draw Social Security because I made too much money. So they said. And I just got me a lawyer, and I had a good auditor, and they set it up and incorporated the store. And when I was 66, I retired and drew my welfare pay, and they had to pay me back, for about $6,000. And when that happened, though, my help left me because they thought I was going to sell out. And I would have sold out, but I couldn't find a buyer with the money. And when my last man left me, he left on Saturday night and didn't show up Monday morning. And Monday morning I opened up the door and started liquidating my hardware. And it took me about 2 years to liquidate the book of my hardware. And I had more hardware than I really realized because I sold it at retail, not at wholesale, and not at discount. Well, when I wound up with the 4 walls, I gradually started to picking up various items. I call it gifts, and it's turned into a good business. Turned into as good or better business than I ever had in hardware. more profit.
Well, now you don't look retired to me, working here and keeping up the store. Is this retirement?
Well, this is my hobby. Guess you could call it that.
Well, now when you do finally sell the store, I guess you'll retire for real then, won't you?
I'll have to.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Sit at home and worry my wife.
You going to miss it?
Oh my goodness alive, I could cry about it. Yeah, I'll miss it because this has been 41 years of the best years of my life.
When you were a young boy and walking around the square, did you ever dream you'd own a store and run a store here for so long?
Oh, no way, no way. But I always wanted to go into a business for myself because it was in my genes. My father was that way, and my brother was that way, and his brothers were that way. So it's in my genes, and it's not unusual.
What about the marbles?
Oh, marbles is a gold mine.
Well, now, how did you come up on marbles? I mean, I've never seen so many
A
marbles.
gimmick. I needed something to get people to talk about me after I went out of the hardware business. And I just happened to be traveling through the country and found out where marbles were bought, where they were manufactured.
Where are they manufactured?
In West Virginia. And I decided that if I would buy 500 or 600 pounds and put them in the store, that the people would think I was crazy, and it would get them to talk about me. And 500 or 600 pounds of marbles, it was a whole lot cheaper than 2 months of advertising on radio and a newspaper, and much more effective because it was the people that came in and saw them was the ones that bought them, and it people didn't understand it. They thought I was crazy, and of course I didn't know what I was. But in 3 months' time, I had to go back and buy 500 pounds more. And then on my fourth trip, I went back and bought 3,000 pounds. And one time since then, I've bought, I believe, is 15,000 pounds at one time.
Well, when you call and make these orders, what do these folks in West Virginia say? Well, how are you selling so many marbles? Is that unusual?
Well, the marble people ask me, they want to know, what in the world do you do with them? And I said, I do nothing with them except sell. And they didn't understand that because they don't, that's not the market for marbles. Marbles are used commercially in manufacturing of different things.
Really?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. In refining of gas and oil and whatnot. Just tanks of marbles. Tanks of marbles, yeah.
But they just can't figure out this fellow down in Tennessee who's selling all these marbles. Huh?
No, but now since I have done it, there have been several people followed it. At Williamsburg, Virginia, now there's a man that goes up there and buys them for 1,000 pounds like I do. And he has a big salvage business, and I'm sure he beats me all to pieces. But I can move 35,000 pounds a year.
Well, now, if I were going to open a business today, open up some sort of business here, and I came to you and said, Mr. Davis, what advice do you have for running a business today? What would you tell me?
Buy cheap and sell high.
It worked for you, didn't it?
You getting that out?
Oh, that was a good point. Actually, that should take care of that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just,
Okay.
we'll just get some other shots.
Man, you just caught me. They got me again.
You'll all be on television.
Go ahead and, yeah, run your hands through the marbles. Be looking at them a little bit. Yeah, right down, go way down in there.
I keep on playing like
Yeah,
you
go
were
ahead.
this
Come on,
morning.
don't be shy, Zach.
Like you were doing it this morning.
Way down in there. Way down.
Reach over here and see that color green one. Very conscious about
Come
it.
on, they don't bite, you know that.
She's a little self-conscious right now. Can't you turn around slightly and let them see?
Put them back in the same box. You don't have to look at it.
Yeah. No, come on, Zach. Go ahead and reach into those big blue ones there to your left there. Just go way down, deep down in. There you go.
What's your name again? I'm sorry. I thought Mark Mark. That's Keith, right?
Yeah, put your hand down in there, move it around to it. Move around a lot. There you go. Keep digging around. There
What
you go.
about that blue one over there, that green one over there? Boy, if we had Andy down here, he'd make up a mess.
So, he's got us over
Trade-off, I guess.
Okay, we're ready. We're cooking. Sorry.
Here, come up here, let me show you.
Hold on just 1 second here, Mr.
Oh,
Talk to Barry, and then we'll join you.
Okay, go ahead.
Barry, what was it like coming down here as a kid?
Well, it was like being in a time machine. We could come down here and sort of step back in history, and he sold things 40 years ago and 30 years ago that you don't see anymore, like horse collars and plows and this kind of stuff. And so growing up in that, I got a feel for an era that, you know, that's gone now. You don't see it anymore.
Well, now, as a kid, I'm sure almost every boy, and I know I was, and it seems like people were fascinated by a hardware store.
That's right.
Besides the horse stuff, what was some of the neat stuff that intrigued you when you came down?
I enjoyed learning about the merchandise, and because of his influence on me, I learned everything there was to know about plumbing and electricity and the practical side of working on and repairing equipment and
I bet Mrs. Davis found that handy.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I do all his repairs now for him.
What's the appeal of the store?
It's not really a store that sells merchandise, although it does do that. What it really does is sell nostalgia, and it sells a piece of history. And people love to come into this store because they're really seeing an environment that's at least 80 to 100 years old. And this store is 150 years old. And my father is 77, and you know, he's seen it all, from the T-model Fords to the space shuttle. And so there's a sense of continuity and there's a sense of history in this place that you can't get anywhere else. And when he goes, and when this place, you know, is sold or is closed up, it's going to be the end of an era.
Oh, sure enough. He should have given you some tools. That hurts. I can't hardly pick it up myself. He does. Those old pictures are real old.
What, 30 years maybe?
I expect so. The man that took those was my bookkeeper and auditor. They've got the boys have got something better than that. I get that they've taken. And you know, right down to that, to them, but now the one that's existing here might do very well. We've got one in here where we had 5 in us. We got
So
one.
there might be, in other words, there's a room for maybe one store.
One store.
But
Just make a good living.
otherwise, they're just not.
It's just not here. It goes in cycles for about 30 years. Well, you know, a good living quarter section of town, it changes in about 30 years from the best down to the rental type. It goes. It may be a good place to live, but 30 years is a cycle. And of course, there's exceptions. No, there might be a little controversy, but I would say that I could say this thing, I'm the oldest merchant on the square that's been in continuous business in the same location. I get it off. And I feel clear down here. Oh, he's off the spread. When I came in this, I think he was here because he came in right after the harness if he was in there. I came in and yeah, get it.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting the back of it, but I'm getting his face. Your reputation is ruined around Tennessee. Well, then how long do you all do? I don't look at the how does this feel about okay, we're rolling now. You can talk about the weather, it doesn't matter. We're not wrong.
Well, you get you say a minute and a half is about what this is expected.
I had my arms crossed for the other one, didn't I?
You had your arms in your pockets. Huh?
Oh, I did on the other one? What's that?
Yeah, put them in your pockets.
I put it in the pockets?
Uh-huh.
Relax like you were, that's fine. Just try not to get so much middle.
You guys are how I'm thinking.
Now I gotta look serious. So what you want to do again?
Yeah, no, I'll check Wednesday, then I'll be back Thursday. I don't know where you go.
Okay. That's right. Okay, yeah.
Well, okay, come on down here and I'll show you. Here's the only set I have in the handmade Texas pottery. I have the 3 pieces. You run 8, 10, and $10. The 4th piece I'll have Thursday, and the whole set will run $40. That's handmade pottery, safe to use. It's lead free.
I tell you, do me a favor. Could you pick up that same piece of pottery you just did? Yeah, just pick it up again and look at it. And take the lid off of it. Like this. Okay, now just set it back down. Okay. Now we'll get you to do one more time. It's movie making, that's all. Just pick it up and now you just set it back down again.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, anytime you're ready.
Well, I'll take this down because it's kind of hot out. And I'll get this down.
That's good enough, that's good enough. Let me get you. Yes!
Let me get you set with that.
Okay, that's good. Just go ahead and...
You're not putting it, just take it on down?
Yeah, just bring it on down.
I gotta hook it in and start to get loose.
Okay, Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Okay, now I'll get you, okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Very few. Black shopping, quite a careful. What's it? Shopping.
Really? Well, he has one.
Yeah, he was so good. And I don't know whether it's the same.
They wouldn't think so much about it.
That's right. I put it in tissue roll, but it doesn't make a shot. I sell thousands of pounds.
I got all of them.
That's why now, boy, don't give me stuff. Don't do that.
Today I did. I was tired just like everybody else. Just bug eyed. Yeah, just
back in
looking
the old
around.
days, you sold sugar and coffee. Because it's all, you didn't think it was kind of
You got your own hardware store.
They don't just say,
But that's run by the historical society. I mean, I'm glad they did that. Keep the little kids.
This is really not a functioning, legitimate retail outlet. They formed that they came up to him and asked him to be an advisor. He sells them a lot of that.
so, these boys,
He's making a living off it.
He can make a very good living.
Jail is had that's the kind of livestock farm on. Was a good friend of mine, and a good friend of my brother's.
Oh,
That's exactly what it is.
Now, he told me that what they close up shop and they go off to buy different
Make
places.
trips and buy marbles, handles, cast iron toys. He goes all over pottery, drives out to Texas where I live and buys pottery. I know you guys work because
It don't make you afraid of it. And it paid off handsome.
Work to the deadline and all that kind of stuff.
It's a trade-off. Sometimes you have those moments, you know, I don't like it, but I work well on the pressure.
The Ashby's still here, but it's out there different.
Who's getting some on there, there's some off, but I'll have some getting out of this small corner.
Hell, I did this the same way I did my cousin. Green hard country boy. And went to work in there.
Station with drugs going.
I wanted to get up out of the stop. I wanted to make a name for myself. I wanted to get out on the road and start selling. I went into the stop man and put up stuff. And my father knew one of the vice presidents. They were born, New York Forest down in this country. And my father was dead. And Mr. Henry had gone up there, just see him and ship down, and got his best.
And it said go, right?
Well, I knew him too, my
I
father.
had 15 minutes. They showed me what was my recorder, what was my camera. Huh? Surprise, huh? Watch me a couple of night is this passion. thing is half work hard.
That battery pack's about the size of this battery pack. That is a battery pack. That's about the size of the one on my camp.
Since I'm leaving,
Yeah, I like this next guy. Oh,
oh, he loves Civil War stuff. What I'm gonna do is when I That's good, that's good. Okay, we'll pick it up. Okay. If you can walk back here, I'm just going to get walk on up there. And I'm
Oh, is that?
and shoot the glass. Yeah, see, I can you shoot the glass.
Oh,
I
okay.
can see your reflection when you walk up.
Oh, you ready?
I'm ready.
That work?
That works.
Mm-hmm.